Morning, everybody. 8:35 a.m. It's September 8th. Welcome to my channel. This market has been basically moving to move lower and has been holding the lower move. That 44.71 level in the ES futures is very important. That's the kind of the bull bear line, and that's where we're at right now. So these times that I've been starting are going to be a little erratic until I find my schedule for my daughter now. Is no longer in daycare. She's in kindergarten, so the schedule's kind of getting flipped upside down every morning. So, without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name's Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile, volume profile, supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the rolling week and the rolling month to find structure in this market. So it's all about structure all the time. Price can fool anybody. A little move down or a little move up quickly. If structure's not broken, then nothing really happened. So that's what you have to really concentrate on in this market. Like yesterday, that market was very hard to read. I did talk about the reversal pre-market that did happen, but it wasn't really an easy setup to trade it. So I really didn't take a trade yesterday. It was hard to read that market to really get a setup. There wasn't a setup. So just giving you that tidbit. As always, if you enjoy what you see, subscribe, set an alert. That would mean a lot. All right. As always, you can give me a like if you like what you see. That also helps me out as well. Of course, you could always follow me on Twitter. That's at Gonzo719. And as always, let's get right into the watch list. So, looking at this watch list, we got crude is up 0.81%. Silver's up 0.41. Gold's up 0.31. Bonds being bought should send 10-year yield lower. Russell's up 0.12. ES is basically flat. The Dow is flat. Nasdaq's flat. Bitcoin's flat. The dollar got a little weakness, went up to 105. Right. Ether's down 0.37. The VIX is down 0.42. 10-year yield is down almost a 0.5%. Okay. That's what's going on in the futures. We can move on to the stocks I like to trade, right? Now, I was actually looking at a possible long in snow yesterday. That would have worked. That would have came to fruition. Give me 1 second. I was just saying goodbye to my daughter. All right. So back to this. So snow had to move across that 200-day moving average yesterday. It did. Made a nice move. Okay. So also it got a coverage initiated at a buy at a price target of 200. So that's pre-market's up 2.88%. Okay. Followed by Meta. Okay. Meta. I know Rosita told me to look at that chart yesterday. All right, 300 is a big positive gamma level as well as 305. All right, so we're holding above that 300. So that was coiling up for a big move. Didn't know which way it was going to go. It went higher. Okay, so Apple has gotten beaten down. Now it's hovering around 178. Okay, is there a laggard today? We got Baba's kind of flat. Nvidia is kind of flat. Amazon is down 0.33. Okay. Moving on. Top sector stocks. All right. We got a leader in Exxon, Chevron. Okay. Roblox. right? And we got laggards, Johnson and Johnson. Well, that's not much of a laggard. United Healthcare. Now I saw Johnson and Johnson got a price target lowered. So that's probably in sympathy for United Healthcare. That's probably what's going on there. And let's go on to sectors, right? Well, no surprise, energy's leading the pack, up 0.39, followed by utilities. That's defensive, right? Communications, all right. Not really a laggard to speak of. I mean, discretionary and semis. That's not really lagging much. Okay, the leader this morning of the indexes is the Russell, which is not much of a leader. Okay, that's what's been going on. Let's go right into some news. Do we have Chief with us today? Is she a watcher? Is she a listener? Not sure. She's a very busy woman. Not sure. Not sure who's here because of my erratic start. I started much later than I normally do. Haven't heard from my boy Wian. Who knows? Colby maybe. Not sure. But we're going to go right into the news. All right. So a couple things. Apple. That's the iPhone ban for China for the work phones. We got Goldman Sachs here. Stock fell 0.3 at the Financial Times reported that the investment bank is planning for another round of job cuts for employees. We have Adobe. Adobe got an upgrade. So Adobe is up 1.6%. GameStop stock fell 1.4% on a report that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission was investigating the video game retailer's chairman, Ryan Cohen. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Now, as far as economic calendar, is not much today. Even if I go to Impact, let's go to today. We got Fed Bar. Already did speak, so that was at 1. And there's really not much on the books today that's going to mean anything. Okay, really not much there. However, what happened here yesterday was a lot of Fed speak, right? Hey, Kobe, glad to see you're here. The dollar retreated from a 6-month high after dovish remarks from Federal Reserve members reignited rumors that the institution could maintain current interest rates. Okay, so that's what happened with the dollar. Hence, gold's up a little bit. Also, I saw somebody say about Apple, like this is overdone. Let's see. Yeah. So here, Morgan Stanley, Apple's 2-day stock sell-off on China expanding iPhone curbs is overdone. Now remember, I think September 15th is the iPhone 15 launch too, to be looking out for. Then Morgan Stanley said China's widening curbs on iPhone will at most impact Apple revenue by 4%. And Bank of America here, I like when they give these numbers. It says tech sees its first outflow in 11 weeks. Telecom's largest outflow. Okay. 2.2 billion inflows to stocks, 4 billion inflows to bonds. 700 million outflow from gold in the week to Wednesday. Emerging markets also got some outflows. So that's what's going on with the news. We can go right into the Express daily chart here. All right, let's look at SPY, right? What did we do? So we have the 3-day sell-off. I talked about that reversal or bounce, the relief bounce. We got it, right? Remember, 3 days of selling, a gap down. Usually that's usually going to get some type of relief bounce, which we did. Just wasn't an easy trade. So what did we do? So we opened here, came down a little bit, closed up here, right? Played with this 20-day simple moving average. Okay. Now we look at the Express maps. Whites is the monthly, so we're still within last month. We're still within last week. Orange. Here's the last week's lows, last week's highs. Okay. Below the 50, We're in a web. We're in a crazy web right now. Let's just call that the spider web, like I talked about with Meta. So now SPY, right? You're underneath the 50, underneath the 9 EMA daily, or above the 20-day simple moving average. So that's kind of like, if whoever looks at these on their charts, right? Maybe only one. People use the EMA, people use this. That's just confluence, right? So this is going to cause the market to like chop, basically. Okay, you're going to get some chop here. Eventually, that's not going to chop, and it's going to turn into a move, right? But where are we now? We're at 445.13. 445.13. So we are 445.13. We are close to the highs of yesterday. Okay, close to the highs of yesterday. So let's moving on to the Qs. All right, now here's that web. Okay, we're both. Now what happened with the Qs? Opened here, came down, got weaker, closed right at the 50-day moving average. Okay, underneath the 9 EMA daily, above the 20 simple day. Here's that web, right? Here's that web we spoke about. Let's look at the express levels within last month, within last week. So you notice that we're inside last month, inside last week, hence in the middle too of last week. In the middle, right in the middle. So that's like, a choppy area. It's really choppy. It's not a lot of edge in this market, right? So that's the Qs, right? Where are we at now? 372.30. 372.30. See, 72.30. So we're kind of close to the highs, kind of close to the close of yesterday. Not a lot of edge there. Okay. Hence why when we go to the market profile, you can see the most traded price of the week was going to be right there. Okay. So let's look at the Dow. Now the Dow, look at the Dow. Okay. The Dow is underneath all the major averages, 50, the 20, the 9 EMA daily, right? Under all of them, you have underneath the 100-day moving average, right? Now let's look at the express levels. We got month, the whites. There's last month's highs, last month's lows. We're in the middle of last month. And look at the weeklies, right? Here's last week's high. Here's last week's lows. Now look where it closed. No, I'm sorry. It opened at last week's lows, right? And then it drove up all the way up to here, closed here, right? So it's held last week's lows. Now, why did this, had a nice move? Because United Healthcare, the largest holding in the Dow, had a nice day yesterday, but still underneath all these averages, right? You can see a downtrend here and an uptrend, a long-term uptrend that's holding. So, and you're just, again, kind of in the middle of the muddle, right? In the middle of the muddle. All right, where are we now? 345.90. 345.90. So we're holding yesterday's highs in all the indexes, right? Let's go move on to the Russell. So the Russell hit this uptrend line, long-term uptrend line. Okay. Look what it did. The express levels, let's look at them. Orange is last week high and last week's lows. Look at that. Broke last week's lows. Came all the way down here, right? Closed here underneath last week's lows. Okay. Underneath all the moving averages. Hit the 200-day, almost hit the 200-day moving average, and it went past the 100-day moving average. Okay. Russell's just getting beaten, right? Now 184.50. It's right, what do you know it, at last week's lows right now. In the middle of the range at last week's lows. So when you're down here, you hit the 100-day moving average, you hit this trend line, you hit last week's lows. That you could potentially be bottoming out in the Russell for a little bounce. Okay, for a little bounce. Notice the Russell didn't give you that bounce yesterday. So you got 3 selling days here. Could pop up to maybe here, right? So I'll be looking at that today. Okay, so that's enough of that. Let's go into the triple-headed monster. The 10-year yield, which is getting The yields are falling right now. All right, so now look, we came up here, came down, we came up. Now we're starting to make. Is this going to be a swing low to move us higher, or are we going to go back down? Right? Just got to keep an eye on this. The VIX got elevated all the way up here yesterday, made a high of 15.69. We are here now at 14.4. Right? You need to get into the 16 range. You're going to see any more movement further, right? Dollar, you'll see, came all the way up here to 105.15. Right now at 104.93. But basically, look at that low. Made a 99, and we've been just rising while the market, doing a little bit of a games, but the market made those highs and it's been kind of like working its way down again. We have to see. Okay. Now, moment of truth. Let's go over to the market profile. Right. Let's move over to that. Let's get right into it. All right. Let's go over these. All right. Let's make this a little bigger here. Okay. Puh. All right, so this is really no edge here right now. Right off the bat, I can see it. All right, give me 1 second. I don't know why this is being a pain in the butt right now, my marker. Give me 1 sec. I just want to reset it. Okay. Okay. So we got a crazy looking profile here. So we got a distribution here, and then we have a poor low here. We don't have a good excess here to the bottom, right? Okay, but what happened? Most traded price of the week has moved lower. Where's price? Right at the most traded price of the week, 44.55. You see what I'm saying? See how everything works together? But now I'm almost talking about all the moving averages is like a spider web, right? And let's say I didn't look at that. Let's say I just went off my most traded price of the week. I don't have to look at those moving averages. I do for a confluence, but this tells me all I need to know, right? Balance, chop, no edge. You're right in the middle of the muddle. Okay? This is like not a place you want to initiate a trade, really. Now just think about that. It's the most traded price of this week, of the last rolling week. The most trades of short longs have all been there. That's the most fairest price. If this is a house, this is the price that the market's telling you that it's fair. Okay? So this is the most agreed upon price. What's going to happen from here? It's a spring. It's going to coil. Okay? It's going to coil. Eventually, the most traded price of the month will eventually, if we stay around here, we'll move there, and then you'll get ultimate balance, which will get a big move happen. Okay? All right, let's look at what's going on here. All right? So first off the bat, let's look at structure. We have a weak low here. Weak low. So you got longs here, shorts got bad location, and you got longs here. So if we revisit here, I would expect us to at least break through to down here. Okay? This is where we got the most traded price of the week. Still, bulls, you have a shot. You got to break up here. You have to break. See this shelf right here? You have to break 44.71, and hold it, and you got single prints here in order for you to make the move. If they cannot take 44.71 and they come up here and they get rejected, we're most likely going to revisit here and maybe revisit these weak lows to make a move lower. That's the structure. When I talk about structure, that's the structure. Okay, so today, what do I expect? We're going to move either here or we're going to move here. It's an inside out. So if we take this level, hold it, we're probably going to move up to here, and then what do? Go here or we roll back over. Same thing here. Come down here, either we take these lows and go lower or we come back into balance. Okay? So if you're going through a scenario, okay, very, very easy to look at this. Okay? Very, very easy. So here's you gotta look at it. In the middle of the model, horrible. So we're gonna go inside out today. Okay? So for me, I don't really like that trade too much. It's gonna happen. It's no doubt. Okay, but I'd like to play the edges. So if you're looking for the long, of course you can take this level, hold it, hold it, hold the most traded price of the week. You can get a little move up to here. Okay, if it gets taken, hold, break the singles, you possibly can move back up into here around 4,500. The other move is move down, come down to these weak lows, maybe even push down into the most traded price of the month, hold. You're going to come right back into here, the mean. Okay, and then go back to test 44.71 to possibly see if you can go higher. Okay, I like that scenario. Push down, get some liquidity so you can make a move higher. This is a tougher trade. If you just want to go long around here, you could do it, but it's a little tougher. Okay, now let's go to the bear. Okay, same thing. Tougher trade is going to be go underneath this, hold, and then you're going to revisit these lows. Now, if you're in a bear scenario, you're going to break these lows, hit the most traded price of the month, and maybe go into this demand zone. Okay, farther move it down to this naked VPOC that you don't see, but it's down there. Okay, maybe make this chart move up a little bit so you can see the naked VPOC. Okay. Okay. Now, of course, we have to talk about this move. Okay, so like again, 44.71 I talked about, right? So again, this is the test for the market. If the market does move up into this area, that's a naked VPOC there. Okay, you got the 9 EMA daily here. And even if it touches these single prints, this is the test, the single prints up here. If it goes into them a little bit and then starts getting lower high, we're gonna roll back over. Stop there. That would be the first test. But if that can't hold, we're gonna fall weak low down to here. This is, like I said, the most bearish would go down to this, probably the naked VPOC. Okay, that's what I see. Not easy today. It's just not an easy market. Now the futures are also, contracts are rolling over. So next week they expire, this contract in the futures. So you're going to have a contract split. Some people still trading this contract versus trading the next contract. So next Friday will be quad witching. Okay, let's look at that NASDAQ, and I'm going to wrap it up. Okay, NASDAQ has a little bit of a different level. All right, I didn't talk about it in the ES, but the inventory is not important, just like in the NASDAQ it's not. Look, open here, equal long, equal short, no edge, right? No edge there. Yesterday's most traded price was here. Price is right by it. Okay. Look at the profile. You got some distribution here, distribution here, distribution here. Okay. You don't really have good excess here at the top or the bottom. That's what we're looking at here. Let's look at the levels. Yesterday's high, yesterday's low. Price is here, so we're in yesterday's range. Again, no edge. No edge there. Okay. We don't have a weak low in the NASDAQ like we do in the ES. Okay. We still have these single prints that have yet to be cleaned in the NASDAQ. Okay. Most traded price of the week is way up here still. I expect if we stay here, it will move down here. That should move down. I almost can guarantee it will move down. And whenever that moves down, that usually means you're going to get a move lower. If it can't move it down, you're going to go back. Okay. All right. So similar scenario here. I mean, pretty easy. Let's get into it. And I might have to go here. Set up my plans for what stocks I'm looking at. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It might be a no trade day again. We'll have to see. So pretty similar, right? So if the bulls have any shot, and that bulls not meaning you're going to just break out to the moon, go up to the stars today. I'm not talking about that. So what I would like to see, come down and get some weakness here, test that 20-day simple moving futures, test yesterday's lows, come in, maybe even go to the most traded price of the year in this demand zone, get some lower highs. This could possibly bring us back to here. That could make us balance there, or you go up and test this supply zone in 90 EMA daily. Okay, so I don't love it, but this is another area, okay? Because this area is still important. The most traded price of the week hasn't been there yet, but I'm going to treat it as such because you have the most traded price of yesterday. And look at the overnight is the most traded price of the overnight. So if we could take this and hold, you're going to test the supply, and you could come up here and test the 50-day simple moving average in this supply, which is similar to 44.71, and okay, that this is 153.80 about. Okay, and you got singles, monthly VWAP, and you could possibly test the most traded price of the week. Okay, going to a bearish, okay, clear right here, 90-minute daily. You got two supply zones up here. Okay, so we could do a move down, but this is the real test. Is do we come up into here, the overnight highs, 90-minute daily? You got supply here. You could roll over, right? Hit the the overnight lows, go down and test yesterday's lows, hit this most traded price and demand here. Okay, also have this supply with the 50-day simple moving average here in futures. Get some weakness, could also roll over. Okay, that's what I see for the NASDAQ. All right, so that kind of wraps it up of what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense to everybody. And please subscribe and set an alert if you haven't already. That would mean a lot. Give me a big thumbs up if you like what you saw. You can always follow me on Twitter at Gonzo719. And that will wrap up today. And that will wrap up today. And everybody have a good weekend. I expect now volume. Really quickly, let's just look at the volume. So the volume right now, you can just concentrate on that number and this number. I think I have it over the last 20 days. We're at 82% volume on ES and 95% in the NASDAQ. So a little less relative volume today so far. So I'd usually like to see over 100. That usually means for a nice day of volatility and movement. Right now we're under, relative volume. Maybe that increases, maybe not. Okay. We'll have to see. All right. So enjoy the weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Good luck today. Stay green. And remember, we got structure that we can look at today. All right. Or every day. So, all right. Everybody have a great weekend.